Hello. It is June 14th and it is almost 11:57 p.m. I mean, it's almost midnight. So, I basically had to make a video right now about the things that have come out from this trial so far. We finally found out that I was right in the starting. That Assad, people like Assad and Sohaib, were much more involved in anything criminal that could be considered criminal in this investigation, just like how law enforcement were. They were involved as adults. This means that the wedding incident that law enforcement wanted to frame me for in the year 2023 was something that not only was law enforcement involved in, but Assad was definitely involved in it as well. And so would Sohaib be. I know this for a fact because these people could afford to be everywhere, and they could afford to be everywhere as a child. They could afford to be everywhere as an adult. And they would thereby be there on purpose with their own will. And they would know about every single thing that could be considered bad that would be occurring and happening as adults while knowing about everything. This means that it's highly ironic that someone like Assad would be narrating in this trial to try to frame me and make me look like a bad person. This is because we've just found out that I was absolutely right about the fact that Assad would definitely be present at this wedding incident that law enforcement was trying to frame me for in the year 2023, after all the law enforcement had done throughout the entire year of 2023 was run sex schemes and money fraud throughout the entire year, only to try to frame me for a wedding incident that they should not have told me about, because now I knew about a crime that law enforcement had themselves committed by covering over it. Let me recap a little bit of how we actually came about this crime that law enforcement wanted to frame me for. On August 9th, 2022, something weird had occurred. I was on a flight for 6 hours and law enforcement lowered the air drugging for 6 hours, due to which I took out a textbook and started studying. I found out for 6 hours that I had photographic memory, innovation, and focusing. Focusing means I could memorize textbooks for pretty much, I could memorize text, for hours and hours. And that I could use it without needing a single second's break. I used it for 6 hours on August 9th, 2022. Law enforcement obviously did not release this to the public. Instead, they kept onto it and told everyone they knew that they had to analyze it. They couldn't say anything till it was analyzed. Well, you can only analyze something for so long. August 9, 2022, and law enforcement did not release the results of that brain savant test done for 6 hours until 8 months later in May 2023. As soon as they released the results, things started to occur, like I would be at Walmart and this really nice lady would try to pay for my things, to which I would just tell her that I'm good, thank you very much for trying. Law enforcement saw this and realized that this lady obviously wanted me for her daughter, and they became extremely envious. They would not spare a day. Law enforcement then started bludgeoning my head by hitting it very brutally with energy weapon torture tools, so brutally that I just felt like I had to run away somewhere. And obviously, if I had to run away somewhere, my first choice always would be India. Mainly because I speak Hindi fluently and because India is a cheap place to go to. I even downloaded the Magic Bricks app, called them in India, spoke with them in Hindi, told them that I'm coming, asked them about the apartments that I was going to, and they would tell me like, oh, do you want one near the railway station or one that's far from the railway station? And I would just be like, I don't need a 5-star hotel, I'll be there is all I gotta say. And they would reply me back in Hindi. They would just be like, we'll be waiting for you. I would just be like, thank you. And so once that was done, and I thought that was easy. So, I mean, the Magic Brick apps, like I'm sitting in the US and I have a place to stay in India, which I thought was amazing. But it was a visa part that was hard. So, I mean, anyways, long story short, visa was a little hard and took time. So I went to Saudi Arabia. After I came back from Saudi Arabia, 2 months later, it kind of seemed like every single person in this entire city of Caucasville knew about my brain savant by July 1st, 2023, something I never told anyone about. Law enforcement was panicking because everyone knew about my brain savant. Now, it wasn't just that one lady who tried to pay for my groceries at Walmart in May 2023. Now, every single person knew about it. So law enforcement was panicking because they had a court case on August 25th, 2023, and they thought that if I would win that court case, they would have to let my brain savant go.